Right, hello again, everybody. As I mentioned just a few moments ago, from three-time world champion, we're now going to hear from the man who not only matched Michael Rogers' record in the Time Trial World Championship, but went on and did one better. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 4 times world champion amongst many, many other achievements on his palmarès. It is Spartacus, Fabian Cancellara.
Hello.
That's a lovely warm welcome, isn't it? You're used to being up on the stage now. You were here last night as well, weren't you, with Eddie Merckx and Bradley Wiggins?
Sir Bradley.
Sir Bradley, sorry.
Hey.
Oh, glad I'm being corrected. How did that go?
It was really special. I mean, 2 huge legends.
3, come on.
I mean, you said about those 2. Eddie, I mean, is unique as a person. I mean, I have to appreciate, I mean, his private contacts. I mean, sharing nice talks and having good times together. And yeah, we don't really talk about the past, but just as a person, Eddie is just so humble. And of course, also Brad, I mean, he's amazing. I mean, he's not just funny the way he is, but he's just, I mean, also the way he talks, the way he is, I mean, he's kind of this historical. I mean, he has this passion for the two-wheel world, especially what is historical stuff, I mean, and the way he was performing. I mean, I think he's the only rider I met ever that could transit his, I mean, his habits of I mean, if it was track, time trialing, tour, and even he tried rowing. And I believe that...
hey, come on, you give it a go.
He had this mindset. Yeah, I think that's more than incredible because he could switch, but also he was, I think he could mentally go on for that, and that's why he could change that. I mean, I've talked with Kev once in a while also about that, and he said he also met only one person that is capable to do it, and that's Brad, and that's why I think he stands out for many different reasons, and he's a great person, definitely.
And we were also chatting backstage last night after that, and you were commenting on how, I mean, you would know this anyway, but you were almost like in awe again of his knowledge of the history of the sport. Are you a student of cycling? Do you like going back on old moments, or were you more
not like
someone?
Brad?
No, well, there's nobody like him.
I mean, he was talking here. I don't know if someone else was here, but I was here on stage, and when you listen, the way he talks and the way he gives those informations, I mean, it's like a small child talking and inspiring. I mean, you could listen for hours probably, and he could talk about stories. I mean, he probably knew more than Eddie.
About Eddie?
Yeah, because they asked him what was his highlight, like stage highlight or race highlight, and then he came up with the Tre Cime di Lavaredo. And before actually Eddie came up, Brad came up with a small comment on the side. You think was Tre Cime? And he said, yeah, really. And he knew names, and I mean, Brad has his whole own museum, I guess, with jerseys and bikes. I mean, and that's nice, and that shows. I mean, people see him riding, and we see him in the press, in good, and lately they put him just in the corner. But what Bradley stands out in generally, he is cycling, and that's his passion, and this will never disappear, and that's why when he talks, I mean, this all comes out.
Well, speaking about, you know, the history of the sport, your place in the history books is secured on a number of levels, not just the World Championships, talking the classics, the Olympic Games. I want to talk about those in a little bit, but where does the World Championships and your World Championship titles rank amongst all of your incredible and varied achievements?
It's difficult because I have a few Olympics, I have a few classics, I have a few worlds, I think.
Spoilt for choice, Fabian.
Yeah, that's the problem, luxury problems. on that level, people say, hey, damn you, what do you think about it? I mean, yeah, I think. And I mean, the first Worlds, Salzburg, yeah, first one. So the first one is special, but then defending one, that's they saying is harder to win a second than the first one. Okay, that's also special. Geelong was probably the hardest on all of the 4,
Why?
Yeah, because, you know, I mean, I won Mendrisio in a, I mean, on home ground, in lifting the arms. I mean, looked like I escaped from a group and winning a normal race. No, I won a time trial by a few minutes. And I mean, on home ground, it was even more special. I mean, at home in Switzerland with the Swiss team. Stands out mostly from all the 4 titles, and Geelong was the hardest. But also, why the hardest? Because winning, I don't say I lost the motivation, but you know, you once in a while you trained a bit less, or because you knew it, I'm anyway going to win, I'm strong anyway, and no one beats me. So maybe this has also came up that every title that came more was harder. And I mean, there are 4 titles, and they stand out in all unique ways, all different ways of winning. And yeah, then other races came up. So that's why I have definitely luxury problems.
Yeah. Was it hard to keep motivating yourself to win that? Especially, you know, you look at equaling, for example, Michael Rogers' record and winning 3. You have nothing left to prove anymore. Even if you hadn't won all the other races, that's an incredible achievement in itself. Then to win a 4th, and as you say, you just weren't being beaten. You know, it must have felt easy is a terribly flippant way to describe it, but was it difficult to keep that motivation and keep the hunger that you need to be able to aim for something so high?
Yeah, on one side it's true, because yeah, you do less. I mean, if I don't say it came easy, and never came easy, but you know, it felt like, you know, you focus on other things and this, and then you less focus on what you want primarily do. I mean, how you get ready for a world championships time trial. What do you do? You do Welta, you do specific training home, long season. I mean, for the first one, I sacrificed everything, and for the 4th one, just a tiny bit less, or a bit more or less. And then also when I see the years through with all the prologues, time trial in generally, I mean, on 09, I remember I did the prologue on Tour of Spain. That was the prologue on Assen MotoGP track. I did probably 15, 18 minutes warm-up. That's almost nothing, and I still won. And this is actually on one side good, on one side it's bad. But in generally, I think that I stick to it. I trained for it, and then in Copenhagen, I think it's in 11.
In 11.
I got the first big hit. So that's why I skipped once in a while. Like on 12, I skipped it. 13, I skipped it. But I came back. I said, hey, I have nothing to prove. I just have the will to ride the championships. And that's why in Florence I came back, and I still did it. Got 3rd, but I tell you, I was still happy. I got 3rd. Even a few things maybe went not at the right way, but still I was there. I did it, and I finally also found with the 3rd place happiness, because of course I got measured by winning. If you win 4 titles, everyone expects you, he's going to go anyway, and he's going to win, and it's almost clear he's going to win, but no, nothing is clear. And, you know, no one sees into a rider, into his situation, and but still I could also be happy with those results.
And how do your worlds compare with, for example, an Olympics? Because it's similar in terms of, slightly similar in terms of the times of season, the fact that it is a one-off time trial as opposed to in the middle of a grand tour. How does your preparation and the prestige of a Worlds compare to an Olympic title?
Olympic is definitely a few steps higher. I think, especially this one.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you have to see 2 different things into it. I mean, one, the Olympics been always after the tour, especially in August. The Worlds mostly is end of the season. Then you have the road World Championship a few days later. So on what you focus, on what you give your time, and on what you dedicate, and how you prepare it. You do the Tour de France, you go straight almost to the Olympics, or you do the tour, you go out from the Tour de France, you do a few trainings, few specific trains, or you only do specifics regarding on those time trials. And I found somehow some balances to go more data-orientated, more specific trainings. Then once in a while also just racing and getting ready to have a certain race rhythm, and then go home and do more specific trainings. And because tell you, getting ready for a world's only specific training, that's the harder thing. Because you suffering your ass off on that TT bike at home alone, and you have a schedule, you go through, I don't know, not one time or two or three, you go maybe 10 times through and say, damn, I need to do this, that, this effort.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely hard work, but that comes to a mental training. That, I mean, of course, if you have bad legs, who rides the bike knows that it's not fun, it's not easy, but if you go over it, then certain things change, and you get confidence, and you feel that there's something. I mean, especially when I look into the Olympics, the whole preparation as well. I mean, or the other Olympics. I mean, when I look 12, that was good preparation, a good workload. But then, you know, things happen, unfortunately, in one of these famous corners in London, in a small park.
You've never forgiven this corner.
No, but it's the most famous corner in the world for me.
It is now, yeah.
They talk about, you know, special venues, special places. I mean, we went this morning, we had a small ride with the Gore people, and of course it was nice. You see Buckingham Palace, you see Trafalgar Square, Hyde Park, this, but hey, I have my own corner at the Richmond Park.
Have you been back to Richmond Park
Yeah.
since then? Have you done that corner?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I must come back, right?
Yeah. Conquer it.
Yeah, but there was no barriers, there was no people, so it felt strange.
You'll have to get a GoPro next time and prove.
Yeah, no, I think that's why I think Olympics, Worlds, I mean, it's not only the prestige, but Olympics is different. I mean,
it's a bigger stage, I guess, isn't it?
It's not only the stage, it's every 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's biggest sports events possible. And everything is different. I mean, the whole vibe, the whole preparation. Like I said, it's not September, end of September, because I was sometimes in a tricky situation. Okay, I want to get the double. That's why in 09 things went wrong. I mean, I won in an amazing way the time trial. I was ready regarding the condition. I was doing best trainings possible, and also mentally I had the confidence. But at the road race, there was a lack of too much. I mean, I was attacking, and on the other hand, I lost the World Championships. I lost a huge opportunity to get that chance to win a double, because when I see the race, I probably was the strongest, but not always the strongest is winning. And I look these opportunities that on the end, I look as an experience, 09, 12, losing worlds as was a negative impact, but what came, I use it into as a positive, and then, what happened in 2010, I won a double. I won Flanders, I won Roubaix. In 12, I had a bad year, because I had 2 major crashes, one Flanders, collarbone broken, one Richmond Park, lost by my mistake. I say always, it was my mistake. Even have good skills on the bike, but there the skills been lost. I don't know. And I won in 13. I came back stronger than before, and I won again a double, Flanders, Roubaix. And I think this was also experiences from big wins and big losses that you have to work. You have to work mentally. It's not just push a bit pedals, things will come easy. Push a bit 50 kilometers, pretty fast, 50 average, or you attack on this and that climb or corner, or not corner, because there things can go straight. And what actually special is that if it comes to a time trial, I mean, of course, you have to dedicate, you have to train. If it's once per week with a TT bike, you just cruise around with a TT bike, or you smash kind of, you do efforts, you pain yourself. I mean, you do twice per week TT bike, or you switch, or what? I mean, everyone is different, but I remember my longest ride ever on a TT bike years ago was around 185 kilometers. But at that day, I felt good. I did climbs, up and downs, and still, I came home not tired. I came home like I was happy.
Did you intend to go that long on your
No.
TT bike? You just kept going because
No.
you felt good?
Yeah, because I don't like to switch in trainings the bike. I mean, in training camps, mostly we did that 2 hours, 2.5 hours a ride, and then the team was waiting somewhere with the TT bikes, and then we switched. So, I mean, the position is different. The angles of the seat post is different. I had longer cranks. I had, on the road bike, I have 175. And on the TT bike, I had 177.5. So that's changing. Or if you go around the corner, I mean, not now we talk about Olympics, just generally corners, or when you bend or when you go into a downhill, you have to consider if you're pedaling with the TT bike, your pedals are closer to the ground. So that's also important. And I think, I mean, I knew it when I on the TT bike, what can I do around the corners or not, how much or how long I can still push the pedals before I have to, not to brake, but to not pedal anymore. Because if you pedal in a corner, you know what happened.
We all know what happens. I think it's, I'm smiling to myself because a few moments ago when you're sort of listing the achievements that you didn't manage to secure. I mean, if you look up your Palmares, the number of races and the variety of races and the top races in cycling that you have amassed, and yet it seems like those, you know, a world double, for example, those races that you wanted to add to that and didn't, it seems like they haunt you despite everything that you've won. Do they?
Yeah. I mean, I race for win. I not race to just to race, and it's fun and I'm enjoying. I mean, I think I had the right schools with my all the stations of the different teams. I mean, Mapai, Fassa Bortolo. Then I came with Bjarne with the years with CSC, Saxo Bank, and so on. And then I came to another setup with Leopard Trek, and then Trek came on more with Trek Radio Shack and Trek Factory, and so on, so on. I think on all the teams I had, I took something out, but that helped me or that was pushing me. And of course, I mean, worlds, yeah, the World Championship. I mean, there's missing something, but you know, the World Road. I don't know if I never have found a friend at the road race, or it was maybe a race that, I don't know, it's not about tactically, because tactically I have won heaps of other ways of amazing races, but somehow, especially when it comes to the road race, I haven't really found it. I don't know, I mean, but it's still now, I mean, if I look back, I'm still happy. I'm not crying behind Peter Sagan's. No, I don't cry behind Peter's world title he won, or Oscar Freire, or who else? Who else has won that amazing race, that amazing rainbow jersey? That it is special. I had it just on the time trial in another way, but no, I think it is how it is. But still, I tried the best I could.
You mentioned tactics and psychology of things. I was chatting to Michael earlier about the psychology of time trialing. And you're much more of, I think it's fair to say, an all-round achiever. How do the tactics and the psychology of a one-day time trial compare to Paris-Roubaix or going for a stage win at the Tour de France? Is it something that most people have to shift between and just comes naturally to you?
It's a good question if it's naturally or not. I think Of course, if you do 260 kilometers, you have more time to think.
But more time to overthink then as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's also the problem. I think only because a time trial is short and intense, or if it's a time trial, a prologue can be so short, but can be so long. And so you can say, if it's short, you don't need to think about it, you need just to push pedals. Okay, but how you push pedals? Just because I think that doesn't work. I think it's definitely, you need to have the right mindset, and for what you're doing it. You do it for win, okay, that's the one thing. And I mean, what I love most about is speed, maintaining certain speed and certain pace and that taste to feel that you go fast. I mean, now even you have a sports director telling you over the race radio, hey, go faster. Yeah, but how I go faster? Just because, I mean, you're riding there and say, go, 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 go. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going.
Can you see me?
I wanna catch the motorbike. Why? I mean, honestly, you're never gonna catch. Well, I catched it once.
Yeah.
At the prologue in 07, on one of those corners before the finish line, I catched it because I came so fast. But normally, you're not gonna catch a motorbike because they are there. But it's like hunting. You know this with the fishing. You know, like, I want to catch it, but I can't because he's always there. He's always having this space, and so.
Well, it's his job to stay in front of you.
Yeah, it's good because otherwise it's drafting, and drafting is not allowed, and then you got a problem. And I think, just as an example, for me, the motorbike there was like, if I go faster, he also goes fast because he has to have the gap. Otherwise, it's not good. And then I want to keep my speed and not go when I go 49 and a half, I want to go on 50. When I'm 50 and a half, I want to go, no, when I'm 50, I want to go 50 and a half. From 50 and a half, 51. But then it hurts. You know how it hurts, right? When you push your pedals. Acid is coming, you know, but then you need to still push 5K. And I mean, somewhere is a tactic involved, but for my side, I use it, it's also experience that comes in. You need to know, it's not just you have your power meter and watching, 400 watts, I can go only 405 because then I blow. No, on a time trial, you have to know yourself. I mean, it's an experience, how much you know about your body. Because if electronics disappear, the battery flats out, power meter pops up, that is something wrong, heart rate, something's wrong. I mean, I learned suffering without data, without any tools to help to know on which level I'm standing. But it's not, I'm riding and then I think, how cool it would be on a nice island, drinking a cocktail, having friends, family around. I mean, sorry, you can think before that this maybe can be after.
After, yeah.
So that's why you try to go as fast as possible against the clock. For me, the clock was important. Plus, it's not the concurrences. It was not Michael or Tony Martin or Brad. I mean, and this is where I use it when I see the biggest example are actually the Olympics. How relaxed I was. I was looking the others. I was looking Froome, Dumoulin, Fini, Martin, all that. But you know what? And this is where everything came up, that I was concentrating on myself, on the trainings I did at home, the suffering I had, and only focusing on 54 and a half kilometer on what I need to do today, because it's a long one. And when it's long, yeah, you have to put a certain tactic in and to spend every single energy you have left in your body for that effort. And the effort was good. But I wasn't focused, even when they said, yeah, you are ahead and this. No, honestly, I not even remember if they said it really once or not, because I was really in my own world, in my tunnel, and I saw some lights by end of the tunnel, and I want to reach it as fast as possible. I use it at the cobbles the same. If you go over the cobbles slow, if someone did it, he knows what it means. If you go slow, it's not nice. So if you go as quicker, as fast as possible, you fast over it. But the problem is...
I love that. I mean, that's wonderful if you can go as fast as possible.
Yeah, but that hurts. But that's why you need to train.
Yeah.
And training, we know, is important towards to reach a certain condition and to become better. If you do nothing, nothing comes.
So you weren't then, I mean, you were getting updates in your ear and knowing what other riders were up to in any given time trial, but that wasn't factoring into your efforts at all then?
No, in Rio especially, no. I mean, I never liked when the sports director said you're 10 seconds behind. I never liked, but...
Well, would you not say to them, whoever was in the car at the time?
No, I mean, I never spoke back, honestly.
But beforehand,
I mean,
you not give instructions as to what kind of
but he knew. I mean, Luca
right.
was mostly the last years the guy in the car or Dirk de Mol and certain races, and they knew how to treat me or to come closer with the car. Come on, go! We hit you from the back. No one gonna hit me. No sports director will come across from the back.
But is that what they would say to you from the car?
I mean, they knew on certain situation what to tell and what to say. And you know what? With the time I found out the way they said it, if it was good or bad. Because if they start to talk a bit less and less this voice, then I knew that sounds like time is not good. But still, that's also can be bad when you find out that. That's why sometimes I tried, and that's also difficult to blind that out. And you just give everything you have left, and still on the ending came good. Or when I remember the Worlds in Florence, the last 20 kilometers, I have no clue about any time. But when I looked the race now, I saw it recently, I mean, I was ahead of Brad, and then I struggled, and that's probably because I went a bit too fast early on. I lost it by 3 seconds. And it's not that with the race radio at that moment I will get the second place. It was just I could not push more. I was dead on the finish line. I was like I thought I have given everything, but then you always ask yourself later on, did I really gave everything? Where are the limits? That's what I loved about the time trial on Plus, because what's maximum? Is it just you have acid, that's maximum, or how far you can go? Where are limits? I think somewhere there's no limits.
Where are the limits? Are they physical or are they psychological? What stops you first?
I mean, I knew that the Olympics with Luca, he said, listen, on 1 hour 15, there are certain studies that telling this is possible. More than that is not possible. And but I think it's a mixed. I mean, of course, if you go on a short prologue and you just go as intense as you can, I mean, you will blow because you cannot ride for 3-4 minutes on 1,000 watts. It's impossible. You cannot sprint like sprinters are doing for 1 kilometer. They can do certain short time, certain efforts. So you need to balance those efforts. So that's where it's, do you ride close to your threshold? Do you ride in your threshold? Do you ride close to threshold to the limit? So, and what you train at home. So that's why training is important to adapt those levels. But still, I think the will can sometimes not stop you. And that's why I think you must work. And then it comes to mentally work. And I did some mentally works in my past when it came to, I don't know if it's the same as some, I'll call that, like mentally training, stimulating the race and autogenic training. I never tried
hypnosis.
Hypnosis, I never tried it. I was curious about it, but with these tools I have found and with the trainer, and this is not just the sports trainer, I mean, this is a psychological person that helped mentally to get to work on the limits, because it's not just the training or the confidence that helps you. there's an extra, there's an extra pillar where you need to open it, and you need to be open also to work in that. And I think mostly people doesn't think sports athletes or cyclists needs to work on that, but I think on the psychological part, there is still a big gap to work on to get, to get stronger on that.
Does it take a certain kind of bloody-mindedness to be naturally good at time trialing, do you think, to be the very best?
To be a bad boy I mean, in normal life, I am how I am, but on the TT bike, I'm kind of turning into a beast, turning into be bad. I mean, what is bad? I mean, I just did what I loved, what I liked, what I had for ambitions. I want to win. I want to be the strongest, the fastest. I mean, I want to reach certain speed, adrenaline, certain, endorphins. I mean, there's so many things that come up. And you're dealing and challenging with yourself. It's not like you have around your team. I mean, you have your team, but in another way, you have sports director, mechanic, the equipment, the environment where you are, what you ride. That's all whole things that comes together that helped me to become that what it came.
The bad boy.
Yeah.
Right, well, speaking of challenges, I want to move on to what you're doing right now. And on that note, I know that you have a new ride, a new race in your Chasing Cancellara series. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but we're just going to watch a video on it first of all. Let's have a little look. Now that looks brutal. Tell us about it.
That's something special, even for me, because I won, I'm part of it, that's one thing. I mean, just quick, I mean, Chasing Cancellara is like a race series that we created 2 years ago, and it's not just the Gran Fondo style that mostly people knows. I mean, it's something that, it's a unique cycling experience I want to bring to people on all the levels. It's not just for people, they do 20,000 kilometers, or I mean, it's definitely something that I look into to have fun, to enjoy, to do something. What I mean, I bring cycling somehow, and this is what I want, to the people. To people, they've been supporting me. People, they have the will to do something differently, something special, in a unique way. And we had in this year we had around 8 races. We've been in Italy, we've been in Abu Dhabi, we've been in Switzerland a few races, Germany, and in Denmark. We had variations of types of races. It was a race with 4 people, like a team time trial, challenging the Olympic kilometers in Rio, 54 kilometers. What it means to come, that 4 people ride against that time. Do they can reach it? And I mean, it's a unique experience. And now for next year, Zurich is a city. Zermatt, well known as a ski place. And
what altitude is Zermatt?
Zermatt is around 1.6.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the hardest one-day race in Switzerland, open to everyone. It's 200, almost 290 kilometers. It's open for ultra, kind of alone. You want a challenging. You want to do a certain experience that is unique in Switzerland. You do it in couple. You can do it in 2, and I'm gonna do it with someone. We're gonna auction in mid of November we have.
Are you going to do it with a member of the public, like a normal rider?
Yeah, but we're going to auction it for a good cause. I'm also an academy member of the Laureus Foundation, Sports for Good. And this is what I want to do. I want to bring certain experience to people. And I think this is what is the beauty about it. It's open to everyone. And I mean, just today, I came from the hotel here. With what I came here? Not the Uber, not the taxi, not the bus, not by walk. I came by bike. That was the fastest way to come here. So, and we are London downtown. So we start in Zurich downtown, at the highest building that Zurich represents, and we ride from there, or you, who will come, away from a city towards one of the beautiest places in Switzerland, where Zermatt is representing. I think the Matterhorn is unique. It's my home ground, it's Switzerland, and Switzerland is a beauty to ride, and that's why I'm really motivated. It's not just that someone is organizing. I mean, I'm involved from A to Z, but now we go from Z to Z, Zurich Zermatt.
Very good. So you'll be riding it as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Who fancies riding with Fabian Cancellara? Yeah, Hans, come on. Yeah. Might see a few of these people in Zurich.
But the thing is...
You're not going to give us an excuse here, Fabian, are you?
No, what? I mean, I tell you, I'm riding my bike when I'm home and when I have the time, and I'm enjoying it. And this is what mostly is my motivation to bring and to show people how nice it is to ride. It's not, I mean, you can even, watch a bicycle race, that's the one thing. But I believe that the bicycle, it's not just to put a number on the back and you have to go for a race, but I think in general, and this is what with chasing I want to create, and not a dimension, but to create an experience that two-wheel can give you on plus. I mean, for me, cycling was a life school. I explored so many great things, and this is why also the different formats we have in chasing, and we're also launching in Italy in 7th of April. We're launching an old race. We reborn that, the Tendi Collo. That's an old time trial where Eddie was racing it, and then they stopped the race. And so experiences of historical things from the past, and mentally well-being, and like mentally work. I mean, honestly, to ride this morning, was a bit freezing, but we went, like I said, we went with the bike to do a lap. I mean, I felt straight away better. I believe that the bicycle, the two-wheel, helps you for your health. It doesn't destroy you, like tennis, football, or other sports that hurts your body or your bones.
Unless you fall.
Unless you fall, like I had that situation lately, but we leave it now. But I think it's mentally wellness. You want to stay healthy, right? Not fit, because fit is something else. So I think to become as a habit that whatever someone is doing, if he rides, if he goes on a bicycle, I'm happy, and my message, or no, my will I have to bring people on the bike, and if I see people that I can bring onto a bike, I'm the happiest person, because I think the biggest potential has this world, the two bicycle world. It's not only the World's Olympics, Tour de France. I think look what happened here in your country with Brad, with Kath, with Chris Sir-Hoy, with I think the early guys. They've been really pushing the cycling level to another level. And now what happened this year? I mean, have you ever thought that in 1 year 3 guys gonna win all the 3 Grand Tours? No, right? You see. And a few years ago, no one was thinking about that. They talk about Brad, Kev, and Froome, and now we have seen there's not just this ones. There's Geraint Thomas, there's Yates brothers. I mean, you see. I mean, there is more, and there will still more come. I mean, what Bradley is doing with his team, with the young. What I don't know if it's the national team or Team Sky or however you want to call it. I mean, there is a whole country that is waking up for that two-wheel world. And I mean, it helps probably for the insurance company because maybe people get more fit because the weather sometimes here is not always the best, but then you go take a nice...
It toughens you up, toughens the soul.
Yeah, but it toughens you up, but still, I mean, watching only football or you have rugby,
Rugby, yeah.
watching Lewis Hamilton, Formula One winning, or boxing, some others, I mean, or seeing Mo Salah or all the other athletes on the athletics, this is hard to do, but the bike, 99% everyone here in this place can do it. And so that's why you can do it. You can do the Mont Ventoux, you can do Flanders, you can do whatever. I mean, you can do what we did in what you saw in television, but you can do just around your house, small kids. I mean, I remember still, like it was yesterday, how it was when I left Daddy. You know, I had still the helping things. I don't know.
Stabilizers.
The stabilizers on the right and the left. And you can imagine, that's the first step into the world. Because first you do just a small lap around the place where you are, maybe around your house or around the garden, and then from the garden goes into your town, from your town goes into your city, and you're exploring the world. And that's why I think the bicycle is the greatest tool, the greatest thing I could explore, and being part of the story like I could make regarding the professional sport is the one thing. It's my passion, and the passion turned into be a job, into a business kind of, but it stopped. But I still continue what I love, is riding my bike and motivates people to ride the bike.
Well, I don't know if there's anybody in this room who's not motivated after hearing that. I've got goosebumps. It's wonderful. What a call to action. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the legendary Fabian Cancellara. Thank you. That was brilliant. Thank you. Let you go off a little sec.